Hey guys, we had another fulfillment of what he's been showing us. Um, I uploaded a couple of videos about this back in November. I said that I noticed a pattern in what he was showing me. The pattern is right here in this recent video. Um, the pattern was that there was he showed me this New York City event back in 2011. There was a fulfillment on this day, and then exactly a year later another fulfillment of the Feast of Trumpets. Then he showed me this Connecticut power outage that happened in 2011, and then exactly a year later there was that huge New York City power outage. Then he showed me this Connecticut home fire before it happened, and that happened. I guess it happened. They said it happened early Christmas Day. I had heard others say Christmas Eve. I'm not sure, but I think what they're saying is it happened like around 3 a.m. in the morning on Christmas morning. And that was what led me to think, well, there was a pattern here. Maybe a fire is going to happen here, and it just happened. So what I was wondering is he warning us about a New York City nuclear event? Because I had a vision about a nuclear event, and I'm going to play this for you guys. I have no idea what he's showing us. I know that there are people who incorrectly assume that I'm making these visions up, but I'm not. I don't know what it means. I'm not making it up. It's coming from him. I think he's trying to warn us. And I think maybe, like, for those of you that are living in New York, or in the surrounding areas, he might be trying to warn you through me. Do you know what I mean? Like, he might be trying to say to you, no, this is real. Something is really going to happen. You need to get out of there. Because I don't know what's happening. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why he's showing this stuff. All I know is that what he's showing us is happening. It's happening. And I saw a vision of a nuclear event in New York. I don't know when. I don't know when any of this stuff. The only reason why I understood this was because of a pattern that he showed. So I don't understand most of the stuff he shows me. So if you guys can understand what he's trying to show, or if you find any other patterns, I'm going to try to create a doc of every vision he ever showed me and which ones came true and which ones haven't come true yet. And maybe you can find other patterns in it, because I don't have I just don't have like the time to completely focus on it. But something is going on here. This is important somehow. That's all I know. Okay, I'll just go ahead and play this for you guys. And I hope that you do. I hope that you have a good Christmas. But if you're living in New York, please, please, please get. I think he's trying to warn you and say get out of there. Okay, so I'll just play this for you.
I love the Back to that breaking news from Webster, New York. Devastating news for that community on Christmas Eve. Two firefighters killed after arriving at the scene of a fire early this morning. Two other firefighters were also wounded in that. And police just confirming there is not an active shooter. We've got a live report from the scene right now. Amanda Javari, what is the latest that you're hearing, Amanda?
Well, we're hearing the latest is that 4 firefighters have been shot just before 6 o'clock this morning, and 2 of them have died because of their injuries. We're told this all happened when firefighters from West Webster Fire District were called to a home just before 6 o'clock for reports of a fire. And when those first responding crews got out of their vehicles, they were met by several shots fired at them. They had to retrieve those individuals who were shot were able to be pulled and taken to the hospital, and we're told that the fire just grew and grew after that. 3 homes right now are fully engulfed in flames, and at least 1 vehicle. We're told those homes are a complete loss. We don't know about any individuals who might be living in those homes at that time, because it's just not a safe situation for crews to get down there.
Early on, Amanda, who and why? Any thoughts there? Anything being discussed on the ground?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Any reports on the ground? What's being discussed at the moment in terms of who and why?
We're not knowing a lot. Again, this is a very fluid situation. Neighbors have a lot of rumors on who it might be, but none of them have been confirmed. We know there is no active shooter situation right now. They have evacuated the neighborhoods. We asked the sheriff about suspects. He said that he does not have a specific suspect in custody, but they are talking to the firefighters who were there on who this individual may have been. If it was someone who lived in one of those homes, if it was someone in the area, they're just not sure at this time. It's too soon to tell.
Amanda, a tragedy certainly. 4 firefighters shot,
Indeed.
2 killed in Webster, New York. Thank you for your time, and we'll, of course, keep you up to date on this story right here on MSNBC.
For 5,000 years.
That I put out earlier, Theodore Scardino is listed in guarded condition. Joe Hofstadter is in stable condition. We can report at this time that the shooter is deceased. He died of a self-inflicted gun wound. His name is William Spengler. Date of birth 9/26/50. Mr. Spengler has quite a lengthy criminal history. In 1980, he was arrested by the Webster police and charged with killing his grandmother. He was convicted in 1981. He served time in New York State prison system until 1998 and was on supervised parole until 2006. I don't believe that we've had any contact with him criminally in recent past. And at this time, I'll open up to some questions. Anything from the fire side, Mr. Sienkiewicz would be happy to speak to as far as that.
Was this a trap set? I think the initial call was a car fire, and we understand that they were trapped and ambushed. At first, this is still an active investigation, but I will say at first blush, it appears that it was a trap, that there was a car and a house that were engulfed in flame, probably set by Mr. Spengler, who laid in wait with armament and then shot the first responders.
Is there any reason to believe that there might be other people in any of those houses?
That's certainly very much a possibility. Again, it's these homes were fully engulfed. Firefighters are just getting things under control. It's going to be a while before we can get the fire investigators into the homes to check and see. There may be other deaths.
Chief, are there members of Spengler's family that are unaccounted for right now? Members of Spengler's family unaccounted for right now?
At this time, we are chasing down those leads, and it is possible that a sister of Mr. Spengler is unaccounted for.
Was she living at that residence up there?
The last known address that we had for her was at that residence.
Were there other Spengler family members living
Not to my knowledge.
Chief, can you elaborate on the standoff? Where was the shooter shooting from, do you believe?
Well, and again, this is preliminary. We're assuming that he was shooting from a high ground advantage in a berm near the home where he had, barricaded or set himself up with his weapons to shoot the innocent responders. And I will say that one of the first Webster police officers to respond did engage the shooter and probably in all likelihood saved many lives.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that the Webster police officer exchanged fire with the shooter.
How long did the gunfire last? Was he struck by any of that? Do we know?
That's still to be determined by the medical examiner. I mean, it was fairly evident. First reports back from the ME's office that the shooter took his own life, a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head.
Do we know what kind of weapons he was using?
I don't. I know that there were several different types of weapons. I'm going to say that probably at least a rifle was used to inflict the wounds on the first responders.
Chief, you believe the fire started at a car at the residence of 191? Is there a specific residence or group of residents where it specifically started, you guys believe?
Yeah, that's something that we can't really answer. I mean, I believe that the call came into 911 from a resident. That question came up in an early press conference that a call was called. The fire was called in by another resident in the location. In the neighborhood, and that it was, we had reports of a car and a house fire, and I'm thinking that perhaps they were both torched.
You don't believe that resident who made the call was Mr. Spangler?
No.
Do you know how long the firefight lasted?
I think it was very brief. Very brief.
Were you evacuating people while it was going on?
This all happened in minutes. The firefighters responded, reported there were shots fired. We had police officers on scene in minutes. I think it was a brief exchange. They set up perimeters and pulled back and evacuated everyone and just set up some good crime scene perimeters up there. The area is like a peninsula of land that was fairly easy to contain on both ends because it's not that large of an area. And I will say that with the help of the state police and the sheriff's office, we had numerous police officers combing that area. I don't think they left a rock unturned in that area where they set up the perimeter.
Chief, do you have any indication as to how long Mr. Spangler remained alive or before inflicting the self-inflicted gun? How long was Mr. Spangler alive up there? Did you have subsequent contact with him? Did you guys engage him in subsequent?
There were sightings that he was seen moving in different areas by police officers in the scene. This whole scene went on for several hours. I don't have exact times. And I'll say that the sheriff just pointed out to me that we used armored personnel carriers to evacuate the residents in the area.
Just to confirm, the police officer you mentioned who was doing the exchange of fire, that officer was alive?
That's correct.
Was he able to hit the suspect at all with any shots that were fired?
That's something yet to be determined. We're working with the medical examiner's office to, they have to do a full investigation there as well on the suspect. So I can't answer that. I don't know what wounds they.
Chief, do we have any idea why the gunman did what he did?
Again, we don't have an exact reason why, but just looking at the history. Obviously, this is an individual that has a lot of problems to have killed his grandmother, some 30-odd years ago, and I'm sure that there were certainly mental health issues involved, and we're still trying to drill down at this time to find out what set him off at this juncture.
Do you know if his weapons were legally obtained, illegally obtained?
I can't answer that for you, but as soon as, we have ATF, our federal partners are here with us, and they're chasing all those leads down at this time.
Chief, are you willing to tell us which officer returned fire? Was it Officer Reeder?
Which
officer returned fire? Are you able to...
At this time, because that's an ongoing separate investigation with an officer-involved shooting, that we have to protect that right now. We have to do a criminal investigation on that side with that police officer and an internal investigation. And certainly we're working with the DA's office on that and our state police and sheriff's partners to do that. Another thing that we have to keep in mind, this Spangler was a convicted felon, so he's not allowed to possess weapons. So, did he legally possess those weapons? No. But we've had all kinds of weapons larcenies, both in town and around the county, and in Wayne County as of late. So I don't know where those weapons came from, but we're certainly going to find out.
I love the holidays.
And with my Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards credit card, I love them even more.
I earn 1% cash back everywhere, every time.
2% on groceries.
3% on gas. Automatically.
No hoops to jump through.
That's 1% back on
2% on pumpkin pie.
And apple. 3% back on 4 trips to the airport. It's as easy as 1,
2, 3.
The Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards card. Apply online or at a Bank of America near you.
Just to recap, this morning at 5:35 a.m.